Guys, in today's session, we are going to discuss about Flow Designer topic, guys. Flow Designer is such a advanced feature that is actually given in recent days, guys. So that is gaining popularity in recent days. Flow Designer is a powerful feature which was introduced 2 years ago. Okay. So it is a low code platform, guys. It is low code platform. Okay. Flow Designer is a powerful feature which was introduced 2 years ago. It is a low-code platform. It is used to automate the process in the organization. It is used to automate the process, guys. Guys, remember, Flow Designer is a powerful feature which was introduced 2 years ago. It is a low-code platform. It is used to automate the process. Guys, most of the people, they think that Flow Designer is a replacement of workflow. Most of the people think Flow Designer is a replacement of workflow. Guys, Flow Designer is not a replacement of workflow, guys. Remember, in the market, most of the people, they are thinking that Flow Designer is actually replacement of workflow. Flow Designer is not a replacement of workflow, guys. I'll be explaining about the Flow Designer in detail in today's session. Okay. So Flow Designer can be used as business rule. In place of business rule, in place of business rules, you can use Flow Designers. In place of scheduled jobs, you can use Flow Designers. In place of email notifications, you can use Flow Designers. Okay. In place of uh, in place of scheduled jobs, you can use email notifications. In place of inbound email actions, you can use Flow Designers. In place of workflow, we can use Flow Designers. Okay. Flow Designer can be used as business rules. It can be used as scheduled job. It can be used as email notification. It can be used as inbound email actions. It can be used as workflow. It also can be used for it can be used as integration hub. Okay, it can be used as integration hub. Okay, guys, here integrations for integrations also we use flow designers, guys. Flow Designer is not a replacement of workflow. Flow Designer can be used as business tools. It can be used as scheduled jobs. It can be used as inbound email actions. It can be used as email notifications. It can be used as workflow. It can be used as integration hub, guys. Well, first of all, when somebody asks you what is Flow Designer, Flow Designer is a low-code platform which is used to automate the process, which can be used as business tool, which can be used as scheduled job, which can be used as email notifications to send the email notifications, which can be used as inbound email action, which can be used as workflow, which can be used as integration hub, guys. You can use these. You can actually explain about the flow designer, guys. Well, in the flow designer, we have majorly we have to discuss about trigger. Trigger is actually main role in the flow designer. Okay. Trigger will actually plays the main role in the flow designer. Okay, trigger will decide if it should act as business tool or if it should act as scheduled job or if it should act as email notification or it should act as inbound email action or workflow or integration hub. Trigger will decide, guys. Okay. So guys, remember Flow Designer will have trigger. Flow Designer will have trigger, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay. So in the triggers, we have actually record based trigger, record based. Okay. Scheduled based, record based, scheduled based, application based. We have actually three type of triggers in the Flow Designer, guys, which I am going to show you in a minute. Okay. Which I am going to show you in a minute. Now I am going to the personal developer instance. Just a type of Flow Designer here. Under process automation, you have find a module called Flow Designer here. You have found a module called Flow Designer here. Okay. So you can see here under floats, under flows, under flows, you click on new here. There is a flow here. You have to click on flow. You are creating a flow designer here. So when you go to the flow designer, first it will ask you to provide the flow name. Okay. So here I am giving the flow name here as create problem. Create problem. I am clicking on build flow here. So I created the flow designer, guys. In the flow designer, this is called a trigger. This is called a trigger. If you click on this trigger, if you see here record based trigger, scheduled based trigger, you can see application based trigger here. So we have actually total three type of triggers, guys, in the flow designer. Record based trigger, okay, scheduled based trigger, and here application based trigger. Okay, we have application based triggers. So this trigger plays vital role, very important role. Okay, very important role in the flow designer, guys. Okay. So here I am just selecting created here. Created. So when incident record is created, okay, when the incident record is created, okay, so trigger is when the incident record is created. So after the trigger, you can see actions here. Okay, you can see actions here. So these are actually called flow actions. So I am using action here called create record action. Create record action. So this is like a glide record, guys. This create record action is a glide record. Usually to create the record, we will use glide record to create the record, right? In place of glide record, without using scripting, we are using an action called create record action. So I am just selecting problem here. Okay. So in the problem table, I am just filling short description. So problem statement is actually, so in the problem, guys, these are actually called data pills, guys. These are actually called data pills. Okay. The left side ones you can see, these are actually data pills. So these data pills belongs to trigger, guys. For every action, there will be data pills. So these data pills belongs to trigger. So you can see the data pills here. These data pills belong to this action. Okay, these are actually left side one you are able to see, right? So these are actually called data pills. So incident short description. Okay, incident short description. Okay, incident description. I am passing the description to incident description. So guys, these are actually data pills, right? This is called a data pill picker. This is called a data pill picker. Okay, record description. Configuration item. So incident configuration item, I am passing to problem configuration item, assignment group. So I'm using data pill picker, guys. So you can use data pill picker, or from here you can drag and drop. Okay, just saving this one. Okay. So I'm going to activate this one, guys. I have created a flow designer. What exactly this flow designer does? When incident is created, it will create a problem record. Okay. So this problem record I want to update in the incident field, guys. Then I am using update record action here. So update record in the incident field, in the incident record, I want to update it. So I am using this. Okay. I'm this trigger, right? This trigger pill, data pill I'm dragging here. So in the incident form, there is a problem field, right? In that problem field, I am updating the problem number. Okay. Save this one. Activate this one. Okay. I have created a flow designer. This flow designer will run whenever the incident is created. Whenever the incident is created, it will create a problem record. That problem number will be updated in the incident. I'll show you that. I am creating the incident here. Okay. As soon as I create the incident here, the flow designer will trigger. The flow designer will trigger. It will create a problem. That problem number will be updated in the problem field. You can see here. So it would have created a problem record. The problem number is not updated here. You can see the problem number is updated here. If you go to the flow designer, just click on these three dots, go to executions here. So if you go to the executions, you can understand if the flow designer is triggered or not. You can see flow designer is triggered. You can see here flow designer has triggered. Guys, here what I have done, I have created a flow designer. In the flow designer, I have selected the trigger as created. Okay, created on the incident table. Whenever the record is created in the incident table, this flow designer will trigger. This flow designer will create the problem record. That problem number I am updating in the incident record that is created. So guys, this same requirement I can also achieve it using business rules. Okay, so I am going to deactivate this one. I am going to achieve the same requirement using business rule, guys. Right click, configure, go to business rules. Create problem. Okay, after or async we can use. After insert. So we have to write glide record to create the record. Okay. So here short description. So incident short description. Current object refers to incident here. Okay. Okay, it will create a record, right? That I am storing in a JavaScript variable. Well, current dot problem ID. So current dot update. Okay. So in the problem table, we have to create a record on the problem table. Okay. So guys, usually we create a business rule. We create a business rule. Whenever the incident is created, this business rule will run. This business rule will run. Okay, because we have selected insert here. And it will actually create a record on the problem table with the incident field values. And it will create the problem record. That problem number will be updated in the problem ID field and it will update the record, guys. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here. I'm going to create a new incident here. Okay. I'm going to create the same incident record. So once the incident record is created, it will create a problem. That problem number is updated here. So this has happened through business rule. This has happened through business rule. So in the business rule, did we write the script, guys? Did we write the script in the business rule? Hmm? Guys, answer me here. Did we write the script in the business rule or not? Okay. So without writing the script here in the flow designer, we can achieve the same requirement. I am going to activate this one. I am going to deactivate this business rule. In place of this business rule, I am going to use the flow designer. I am going to activate the flow designer here. Okay, I have just activated the flow designer. I am going to create another incident. So in the flow designer, I am creating the problem record using create record action, guys. Using create record action without using glide record, I am creating the record, problem record. That problem record I am updating in the incident record. In the problem field, I am updating the I am updating the problem number here. Guys, here, okay, here, I did not use any script at all. Okay, I am going to create one more incident here. Okay. So now I created the incident, right? If you scroll down, Flow Designer would have triggered and it would have actually attached the problem number here. See, problem number is attached here. This time, this business rule has not run because we have inactivated this one. This time, Flow Designer has run. So through the Flow Designer, we are able to create the record. That problem number we updated in the incident problem field. Okay. Guys, what I mentioned here, Flow Designer will work as business rule, I told you. Flow Designer will work as business rule. So in place of business rule, what we do, what we did, we created a flow designer, guys. Okay. Guys, remember if you select created or updated, it will act as business rule. Okay. Okay. Fine, guys. I am going to create one more flow designer. I am going to create a one more flow designer. Okay. So whenever you update the short description in the incident field, that short description should be updated in the problem field, problem short description. Okay, whenever you update the short description field, the short description should be updated in the problem field, guys. Okay, fine. For that, I am creating another flow designer. Go to the studio, click on new flow designer. Okay, this time I'm giving update problem, build flow. So when I have given the flow designer name, it will ask you to provide the trigger. Trigger this time I am selecting updated here. Updated on the problem incident. When incident updated, okay, where here you have to select run for each unique change, guys. If you select once here again, if you select once here again it will act as workflow again. Guys, remember. So when you select the trigger as updated and run trigger as once means it will act as workflow again. It will act as workflow again. Remember, this is very important. You have to select for each unique change. You have to select for each unique change. And condition, short description changes. Short description changes. And Problem is not empty. So problem is not empty. Okay. Clear, right? So the trigger here I have selected here as updated incident. So when short description changes and problem is not empty, guys, here you have to select. This is very important. Run trigger should be for each unique change. Select this one. So then you have to use update record action here. Whenever you change the short description in the incident, it should update the associated problem short description, right? Update record. Update record. So here there is a problem field here, right? That problem record should be updated. Problem statement. Okay. Incident record. Okay. So I've created a flow designer, guys. Whenever you change the short description here, in the associated problem, this associated problem short description also will be changed. Okay, I have opened the problem here, associated problem. I am changing the short description here to, I am adding Uday in the end. The same short description should be changed to the problem short description here. You can see Uday added here. So I am adding Uday Gadiparthi here. Uday Gadiparthi here. Okay. So it should add Uday Gadiparthi and here also it should add Uday Gadiparthi. It is adding Uday Gadiparthi here. So what is happening whenever you change the short description here in the incident? Whenever you change the short description here in the incident, associated problem short description is also getting changed, guys. That is what the logic that we have written. So when the incident short description changes and problem is not empty, here run trigger you have to select as for each unique change. Okay. Well, you have to select here as update record, and the table will be here record will be in the incident. There is a problem field, right? In that problem field, problem number is there, right? In that problem field, there is a problem number, right? That problem record I have updated here. I have provided here. So problem short description I have provided here. Okay. So that is why here the same requirement we can also achieve it using business rule also. So, but in the business rule, we have to write the script, guys. But in the flow designer, you don't have to write the script. Okay. Understand, right? Okay. So, guys, here in the trigger, we have created or updated. We have these three record based triggers. Okay. If you select any of them, it will act as business rules. It will act as business rules. Remember this point. Okay. So when you select update, particularly when you select update, or when you select created or updated, okay. If you select created or updated, okay. Here run trigger, there will be a run trigger here. Go to the trigger point here. Okay. So if you have selected updated or created or updated, you have to select a run trigger as for each unique change. If you select for each unique change, only then it will act as business rule. Suppose if you have selected as once here, it will act as workflow again. Guys, remember there are actually three record based triggers. One is actually created, updated, created or updated. These are the three triggers, right? So in the created, okay. So in the created, when you select created, it will act as both business rule and workflow at a time. Okay. When you select updated, first of all, when you select updated in the run trigger, right? In the run trigger, in the run trigger, in the run trigger, you have to select for each unique change so that it will act as business rule. Okay. If you select for each unique change, it will act as business rule. Okay. If you select run trigger as once, if you select run trigger as once, okay, it will act as workflow. Same, created or updated also. Here, if you select a run trigger for each unique change, it will act as business rule. If you select run trigger as once, it will act as workflow, guys. Guys, remember here, for create record, you don't see run trigger here. Do you see run trigger here? No. For updated, you will see run trigger. For updated, you will see run trigger. If you select run trigger as once, it will act as workflow. If you select for each unique change, it will act as business rule. If you select created or updated here, okay. Okay. If you select once here, again, it will act as workflow. If you select this one as for each unique change, it will act as business rule, guys. Is that clear? Everyone. How the flow designer will act as business rule and all, everybody is clear, right? Okay. Okay. Now we will understand. So let me deactivate this one. Okay. This time I am going to create another flow designer. Okay. I am going to create another flow designer. So that flow designer has to check if there is any incident that is actually in the resolved state or not. Incident.list. Okay. I am creating a flow designer. That flow designer will check daily. Daily means daily it will check. If the flow designer, daily flow designer will check the incident table. In the incident table, if any record which is in the resolved state or not, it will check up. If that is in the resolved state, it will keep it as closed. So I am actually creating a scheduled job using flow designer, guys. I am creating a scheduled job using flow designer. Scheduled job means if you want to do the activity, same activity at regular intervals, you will use scheduled jobs. If you want to do the same activity at regular intervals, you will use scheduled jobs. Okay. So here normally for scheduled jobs, we did use scripting, but in the Flow Designer, you don't have to use scripting, guys. Flow Designer, in the Flow Designer, okay, mark as closed. So here I am creating a Flow Designer. This time I am selecting the trigger here as daily. So daily, weekly, monthly, repeat once, run once. I am selecting daily here, guys. Daily, what time you want to trigger the Flow Designer, you can mention the time here. Okay. So here, guys, normally to read the records, we will use glide record, right? To do the CRUD operations, we will use glide record, right? But in the Flow Designer, we will use actions, guys. We don't use glide record in the Flow Designer. Okay, I am using create record action. Okay, I have to read, right? To read it, we have to use lookup records action. Lookup records. Lookup records on the incident table. So in the incident table, I am actually reading where the incidents are resolved state. State is resolved. So, okay, maximum results. Okay. So I am actually reading the incident records where state is resolved, guys. So guys, we will use while loop to loop through each record, right? But here in the Flow Designer, we have actually flow logic here. Flow logic. Flow logic, in the flow logic, we have to use for each. For each is like a while loop. You have to use for each. For each is like a while loop, guys. Okay. So in the lookup records, trigger, so this is action, first action. In the first action, you can see data pills here. I am dragging the data pills, incident records. I am looping through each incident record, guys. Okay. So what I am doing is, I am going to use action here again, update record. So each incident which is in the resolved state, I want to mark it as closed. So then what I am doing is, you can see this incident record, you will pass it here. Okay. So just give me a moment, guys. Okay, where state is closed. Okay, so what I am doing is, I am actually daily, I am reading the incident table where state is resolved. I am actually updating the resolved state to closed state. I am going to save this one, activate this one. Okay. So if I click on test here, it will actually mark all the incident which are in the resolved state to closed state. Let me just pull which is in the resolved state. There is no incident which is in the resolved state. We will mark it as resolved. Okay. So when I click on run this one, when I click on test this one, the incident should go to closed state. The incident should go to closed state, guys. Now the incident is now the incident gone to closed state here. Earlier it was resolved, now it went to closed state. So how did this happen here? This flow designer is running daily. It is reading. Lookup records action is to read the records from the table, guys. From the incident table, we are reading the records where state is resolved. Okay. After that, we have to loop through each record, right? To loop through each record, we are using for each. For each is a flow logic, guys. So here for each is a flow logic. That is not an action. Then after that, I have used update record action. Update record means I am actually marking the incident as closed. Likewise, every day it will read the problem. It will read the incidents which are in the resolved state. It will mark the state as closed. Okay, it will mark the state as closed. Clear, right? So this is how the flow designer will work as scheduled jobs, guys. This is how the flow designers will work as scheduled jobs. Okay, fine. Now, do you remember, guys? We have discussed inbound email actions. Okay, we have discussed inbound email actions. Okay. So whenever you send an email to ServiceNow, ServiceNow receives that email. After receiving the email, it will create an inbound email action is what we have discussed. Do you remember the inbound email actions concept? Do you remember the inbound email actions concept, guys? Hmm? Everyone? Okay. Flow designer also will work as inbound email action, guys. Suppose here, if you, I am going to, I want to create an incident record, guys. Create incident. Whenever I send an email to ServiceNow, ServiceNow should create an incident. Okay. Whenever I send an email to ServiceNow, ServiceNow should receive that email. And here, this time, I am selecting I am selecting application-based trigger. That is actually inbound email. Inbound email. Okay. Subject contains. Subject contains. Subject contains error or subject contains error or subject contains not working. The inbound email action will trigger, guys. So whatever the email that you are sending, right? Okay, whatever the email that you are sending, ServiceNow receives that email. ServiceNow receives that email. Okay. Hmm? When ServiceNow receives that email, when ServiceNow receives that email, so if the subject contains error or not working, this inbound email action will run, guys. This inbound email, this flow designer will run. And after that, if you want to create the record, you can use create record action. Create record. Okay. I want to create the record on the incident table, right? Incident. So short description. In the short description, I want to pass email subject. So I can use data fill picker, inbound email, email record. Subject, I want to keep it in the short description. Okay. Description. So email body, I want to keep it in the description. description. What else? What else we can do? So, okay, caller ID. Caller ID. So here, right, we can also write the script in the flow designer, guys. You can use this toggle scripting for call on caller. So in the caller field, I don't want to use data pill. I want to write the script, guys. So here, what I want to do is return gs dot get user ID. gs dot get user ID. I have written the script here, guys. I did not use data pill picker here. I have written the script here. Okay. Channel as email. Okay. Configuration item. Okay. So I'm just saving this one, activating this one. So what happens when somebody sends an email to ServiceNow? ServiceNow receives that email. As soon as ServiceNow received that email, this inbound email, this flow designer will run. And if the subject contains error, if the subject contains not working, it will actually create a incident record in the incident table, guys. It will create a incident record in the incident table. The short description will be email subject. The description will be email body. The caller will be the person who has sent the email. The channel will be email. The configuration item will be this one. Okay. So whenever you send an email to ServiceNow, ServiceNow receives that email and it will trigger this flow designer. This flow designer will create the incident record, guys. Okay. So this is how the flow designer will act as inbound email action. This is how the flow designer will act as inbound email action, guys. Okay. Hope you guys are clear. Okay. So guys, here in the flow designer, I am going to create a flow designer for catalog item. I want to create a flow designer for catalog item, guys. So click on new. I am going to create a flow. In the flow, iPhone 16 Pro Max. iPhone 16 Pro Max. Okay. Click on build flow. Trigger I am selecting here as service catalog. I am selecting here as service catalog. Okay. So if I select service catalog here, okay, it will act as workflow, guys. It will act as workflow. Okay. So here what I am doing is I am just pulling get catalog variables. Get catalog variables. The here the requested item. The requested item. So the catalog item name is iPhone 16 Pro Max. So normally you can get the variable values using current.variables.variable name, right? Current.variables.variable name to get the variable values in the workflow. But here in the flow designer, you don't have to use scripting here, guys. You have to use get catalog variables from, you have to use get catalog variables action, guys. Okay. You have to use a action called get catalog variables. You have to use requested item and you have to provide the catalog item name, iPhone 16 Pro Max. You can move all the variables to the right side. Okay, you can move all the variables to the right side. So you can see the catalog item variables are actually available here in the data pills. Okay, catalog item variables are available here in the data pills. Okay, so if you select a service catalog here, it will act as workflow, guys. It will act as workflow. So if you select updated and if you select updated here, and if you select updated and if you select run trigger as once, then also it will act as workflow. If you select created or updated, if you select the run trigger as once, it is also act as workflow, guys. And even if you select a service catalog, it will act as workflow. Okay, even if you select as service catalog, it will act as workflow, guys. Okay. Well, guys, remember, workflows can be created on any table. Okay, if you are creating workflow on tables, you will select uh, created or updated. If you are creating the workflow on the catalog item, you have to choose service catalog here. If you are creating the workflow on the catalog item, you have to choose service catalog. Remember, if you are creating the flow designer on the catalog item, you have to use service catalog. If you are creating the flow designer on the table, you have to use updated, created or updated. You should select as run trigger as once, guys. Okay. Well, today we started flow designer. Flow designer can be used as business tool, scheduled jobs, uh, outbound email notifications and inbound email notifications. And it can be used as workflow. It can be used for integration hub as well. So here what we have done, we have seen triggers here. We have three type of triggers: record based trigger. In the record, we have created, or updated. So if you select created, it will act as workflow, it will act as business tool both at a time. If you select updated, in the updated, if you select run once, it will act as workflow. If you select for each unique change, it will act as business tool. If you have selected created or updated, if you have selected run trigger as once, it will act as workflow again. If you have selected run trigger as for each unique change, it will again act as business tool. So if you select daily, weekly, monthly, it will act as scheduled job. If you select inbound email, it will act as inbound email action. If you select a service catalog, it will actually act as workflow for the service catalog. So SLA task, guys. So SLA task means it is also flow designer can be assigned to SLA task. Did I explain about SLA tasks, guys? SLA definitions. Did I explain about SLA definitions, guys? Okay. So in that SLA definitions, we will use this flow designers, guys. Okay, in that SLA definition also we'll use this flow designers. Okay. So if I select a SLA task, it will work on the SLA definitions as well. So these are actually triggers, guys. So flow designer will have trigger. Okay, based on the trigger only, it will act as business rule, or it should act as scheduled job, or it should act as inbound email action, or SLA task, or service catalog. It will decide. So trigger plays key role in the flow designer, guys. Okay. So after the trigger you have actions. Okay. So we have action, we have flow logic, we have subflow. So in the action, we have seen create record, update record, lookup records. Okay. So these are actually actions, guys. Okay. And for trigger, there are actually data pills. For every action, there are actually data pills here. Okay. For every action, there are data pills here. For trigger, these are the data pills. For this action, these are the data pills. For okay, for every action, there will be data pills, guys. Okay. So here we'll be discussing about flow designer even more in detail in tomorrow session, guys. Okay.